Hey y'all. So last time we talked about, or I guess not we, I talked about where I have been for the last for some time, and I talked to you guys about like being depressed and coming out of that and stuff like that. So I guess trying to like move the pendulum forward. My last recording, it's not gonna, when I post these, they're not going to seem like much time has passed, but the last recording I did was like 3 weeks ago. So since that recording, I have seen my therapist twice, and I did talk to her about doing the first recording, and her reaction was like, I'm so proud of you, this is so good. And she was asking me about what I was trying to like accomplish with the channel, and she was just like, I think that this is a really good idea. She was just like, I can see you, just kind of speaking life over me or whatever. So I told you guys in the last video that she gave me a list of different hobbies that I could choose from, and her assignment was for me to circle the things that I do that I like and things that I want to try, and then cross out everything that I'm not interested in or I know for a fact I don't like. So I have been working on that, and she has been encouraging me to like get out more and just meet new people, because it's just healthy for me. And so I took a couple of weeks to try to plan things for me to do instead of just kind of randomly doing things, which I don't think is a bad thing, but I wanted to just try something different. And so my friend and I, we went to a vineyard. It's called Children's Vineyard in Lexington, North Carolina. So if you don't know, that's where I reside in North Carolina. I'm actually in Charlotte, and Lexington, North Carolina is about 45 minutes north of Charlotte. So we, took time and we drove up there, and it was gorgeous. And it was cute. Like, we got a little dressed up. It was really, really cute. She's a mom and a wife, and so she was excited to be out and, allowing herself to, be in her femininity and be around her girl. And so we went out there. We had a really good time. It was really, really fun. They offer a 3-course brunch, and so that's what we did. And it does have a wine pairing with the brunch, so somebody will talk to you about what pairs with what, or why they paired this particular wine with what. And they talk to you about the notes and all the things. I ain't gonna lie, the start of the presentation was great, but at some point I want you to stop talking so I can eat. I just want to eat and have a good time. But the meal that we had was really good. I could never be like a food critic, because the only words I use is, it was really good. It was good. It went down and it did what it did. But the scenery was beautiful. It was gorgeous. It's a nice place to take your family. It's a nice place for a date, or just for girls' day. We saw a lot of like friend groups come out. We saw couples out there. It was beautiful. A great mix of people, and so it was really, really enjoyable. I loved it. And then I ended up going out with one of my other homegirls on Friday evening. So we went to a sports bar. Now, that's not really typically my vibe, but she asked me to go out, and she was, dealing with some things, and so she just wanted to go out and vibe. And so that's what I did. And I ended up having a really good time. So like, no offense to like sports bars and stuff like that, or bars and stuff like that, but it's just not really my thing. And like I explained to y'all in the previous video, like, I stay home a lot. Like, I'm home a lot. I used to be out and about when I was like in my 20s, and then when I decided that I was going to live my life for God, I stopped doing a lot of stuff. Now, that's not to say that you can't like enjoy your life as a Christian, but for me, the decisions that I made were based off of the lifestyle that I was previously living, and so I had to take some steps to ensure that I was protecting myself from making some of the same decisions that I had been making when I wasn't submitted to my relationship with God. And so time has passed. I think I've been walking with God for probably like 7 years now. And I went out here and there, but I always tried to do stuff that I felt like would allow me to keep those boundaries that I set for myself. And then, through renewing and God doing his thing in my life, there are just certain things that don't really have an impact on me anymore. And so I felt comfortable stepping into that space, but I also felt comfortable because I knew why I was there. I wasn't there to turn up or anything like that. I was there to listen to good music. It was R&B night, so that was cool. A lot of it was like nostalgia, listening to early 2000s, 90s, 80s R&B. Everybody's yelling at the top of their lungs, and that was cute. And I had a good time. It was a good time. Like, I danced a little bit, listened to some music. It was fun, and that was an unexpected thing, a little spontaneous, and that was I think something that I needed. And then today is the Sunday before Memorial Day, so everybody's gonna be cooking out and family and whatever else people have going on. So I'll be going to a friend's house this evening for a cookout, but it's also a celebration. Her daughter graduated high school, so they put together a cookout for her. So I'm gonna go and chill with them for a little bit, and then after that, there is a comedy night that I'm going to. So I love going to stand-up comedy, and I'm excited about this because it's not anybody famous. It's just amateurs, and I can already feel the giggle up in me. If you don't know me, I really love like awkward situations. So like if there's a comedian that is trying to like be funny, because that's what they do, but the audience isn't really feeling it, I'm going to laugh. Like, that is, I don't know, it's just, I love awkward moments because they make me uncomfortable. It's like secondhand embarrassment, and when I'm uncomfortable, I'll probably will giggle. I do giggle. I don't know what it is, but it feels good. It's like awkward and, I don't know, laughter at the same time. I like that feeling. I don't know what it is. But I feel like I'm in a good space since the last time I recorded. I'm in a much better space. And I've talked to a lot of people, or not a lot of people, but I talked to a couple of people that love me and that I love and trust about where I am mentally, and just have their support with moving how I've been moving, and how I intend to move from now on, at least while I'm in this season. I hate saying this season because I feel like it's just so but for lack of better words or term, in this season. And so I am on the path of just kind of, I guess, exploring who I am now as opposed to who I was in my 20s and my 30s up until now. I think I told y'all in the last video that I'm 36. I just turned 36. And the life that I thought I wanted is not what I have. And so I'm having to learn how to pivot. I don't know why I'm looking everywhere but here. And I I still am not looking at the lens. I don't know why. It's hard for me. It just don't feel right. Like I feel more comfortable looking at myself than looking at the lens. Y'all, I don't know what I'm doing. Just, bear with me. What was I saying? I'm just making different decisions moving forward. So I think I told y'all last time that when I was talking to God, I was like, God, I can't do my next 36 years the way I've done the last, 15, 16 years. So obviously, if I don't want things to be the same, I have to make different decisions. And so that's what I'm trying to do, just trying to be really intentional about what it is or what it means to like make the most out of the life that God gave me. And so just switching stuff up, being intentional about self-care, being intentional about my relationships, and being more intentional about how I spend my time. I went home to see my parents. Oh wow, like not last week, that just passed, a Sunday. So not this week that just passed, but the week before. And I was out on a walk with my mom, and I asked her, I was like, Mom, do you feel old? She's in her early 70s. And she was like, no. She was like, I know I'm old because my age says that I've been here for such and such amount of time. But on the inside, I don't feel old. I feel like I'm still, like in my 30s. And so I can really relate to that, because I'm like, in my mind, I feel like spiritually, I am not 36. Not to say that 36 is old. I don't think 36 is old, even though this whole auntie thing is crazy. But I don't think 36 is old. Especially when you're talking to people that are in their 70s, like baby, fresh out the womb. Still pretty fresh out the womb. But I don't feel, I guess, old. I don't feel, the way, I don't know how a 36-year-old should feel, but I definitely feel like I'm young-spirited, and I've been told that I'm young-spirited. No one has ever told me I have an old soul. I used to get offended at that, I used to be like, they're trying to tell me that I'm immature, but I think I've come to terms with that. Like, it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, young and youthful in spirit is, I think, fine. But I said all that to say, I'm just trying to bring out what I feel is inside, and live in that more than insecurities and stuff like that. I have been operating out of my insecurities for a very, very long time, like since I was young. Even though when I was younger, I was way more bold, but somewhere along the way, we talked about this in the first video, somewhere along the way I kind of lost myself. And so I'm just trying to not get back to who I was, but just rediscover, or just discover who Nia is like now. Like, who are you now? And how can we make the most out of what God gave me? How can I make the most out of that? And so that's where I am today. I'm gonna go and hang out with those. That's where I was. Y'all let me say that whole spiel and not go back to what I was saying originally. But today I have a couple of people that I'm going to go visit. Like I said, I'm going to do the cookout with my friend. I'm going to go see some family. And I'm going to go to the comedy show and, get my laugh on. So I'm really excited about today. I think it's going to be a good thing. And I wanted to make sure that I shouted these people out. I don't know if I did it in the last video, but one of the people that I wanted to shout out, these are YouTubers. I wanted to shout them out because they have had a hand in me coming out of my depression. And yes, God did that, but I think that God will allow certain things to come into your life, so that you can see, and that they can remind you of like what life could be. And I'm not I don't necessarily want exactly what they have, but what their content has done for me. Excuse me, y'all, I had some coffee. What their content has done for me is it kind of brought back my authentic smile. Like, it brought back my authentic belly laugh. And the content is really silly in nature. These are young guys, younger. I think they in their late 20s now. But some of the content that I saw, and this is, mind you, when I was like depressed or whatever, I didn't do nothing. All I did was laid on the couch all day. I'm talking about body hurting, because that's all I did. I didn't want to go nowhere. I didn't want to see nobody. I would barely open up the blinds. So all I did was watch TV and laid right here on this very couch and was like in and out of like sleep. And so I would just let YouTube play, and somehow their stuff came up. I don't even remember how it, like what I was looking at to make the algorithm choose them. But when I tell you I saw their content, I just happened to be awake at this time and I was cracking up. And these videos, I think they were like younger. No, I don't think they were. Definitely younger than they are now. But it was just silly stuff. Just boys being boys, but just dumb, funny stuff. And I was cracking up. You know what I mean? And it just felt good to laugh. Like, it felt really good to like crack up. And I remember that I used to laugh all the time. When I was young, I was a goofball, like cracking up all the time. And it was just such a great reminder of like living in the moment and just making the most out of the things. And so with their content, they also they're very vocal about where they came from. I believe that they say they came from nothing. And so for them to have come from that and sharing stories about, how life was when they were younger to where they are now, they are so very appreciative of what God has done in their lives, and they just continue to succeed and move. And so they actually started a podcast very recently. Through those videos, I found out that they have a podcast. So I started listening to it, and you can tell the difference in their ages now. Like, you can tell that they grew up, they grew up. And so with the success, they, have been able to make different connections, and they're really doing their thing and helping their families out. And so I wanted to shout them out. If you haven't heard of them, please go check out their content. It is Chunks and Philly. They have a podcast together, and then they have their own separate content. I think Philly's content is still under the name of Young Philly. And so check his thing out, and then Chunks has his own thing, and then they have their thing together. But I don't know if they will ever see this, but if they do, I just wanted to tell y'all thank you so much for bringing my laughter back, and my smile back, and the zeal that you guys have for life is palpable even through the screen. So I'm praying that God continues to bless you guys, and that you will receive whatever it is that He has for you. I don't want you guys to leave any of His blessings on the table. I pray that you submit to His will, and that you continue to experience His love and abundance. You never know how you're impacting people. You guys, they live in the UK, so you just never know who you're impacting. The internet can be really used for good, and certain people like that just have such a positive outlook on life, and they just impact you, impacting people from all over the world. So, you know, shout out to y'all. Definitely a fan. All love, lots of love. And so anyway, y'all go and check out their stuff. I guess I'll put their stuff at the bottom or in the description of this video. I don't know how to do all of that stuff. At this point, even with filming this, I don't even have like the proper like editing stuff. I need a new laptop to be able to like properly edit. And I don't even know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to pay somebody to edit it. Y'all, I don't know what I'm doing. But at the time that I'm making this video, I literally don't have any of that stuff ready. I figure I'll just continue to record, and then once I make a decision on, you know, what I'm gonna do, I'll have videos to just post and post them on a weekly basis, because I'll have them just in the chamber. But y'all stay tuned. Like my brother says, win all your battles. God loves you. He really, really does. Nobody's gonna love you the way that he does. So if you don't already know him, I hope that you find yourself experiencing his love. It's abounding and it's overwhelming. Through your relationship with him, I pray that you learn how to love yourself. And yeah. All right, y'all, I'm out. I'm about to actually head over to the church house right now. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.